Hello everyone. Today we are going to solve the set matrix 0 problem. So here the question is given an m by n integer matrix means that matrix name is matrix. If an element is 0, set its entire row and column to zeros. So the question is simple, like whenever we encounter an element 0, we need to set its entire row and column to 0. Like let's say here we encountered 0 here. So we need to set its entire row and its entire column to 0. That is the problem. So now we'll check like possible solutions and understanding the problem very deeply. So here first we write the indices of rows and column. So first one is the 0th row and second one is first row and third one is second row. Like that, first column is 0th column, second column is first column, third one is second column. Why like this? As usual, we consider 0 also 0 as the starting index. So now I am just writing the indices. Just a minute, like I will change the to pen. I will first erase this one. I will change to pen. Yeah. So I am writing the indices 0, 0, 0th first element 0, 2. And this is first row 0th column and this is first row first column and here this is first row second column and this is second row 0th element and second row first column and second row second column. This is the pretty much indices. Now we got 0 as 1, 1 indices. Now quickly like I will do. I will set like 1, 1 index 1, 1. We got the 0th element at 1, 1 indices. For that one, we need to set first row as 0 and first column as 0. And remaining elements are as it is. So here also like 0th element is at 0, 0 index and 0th element is at 1 more 0 is at 0, 3. So now for this one also we need to make the 0th element to 0th means we got the 0th element at 0, 0 means we need to set all 0th row all elements to 0 and 0th column also all elements to 0 and one more 0, 3 already we have set the 0th row to 0. Now we will set third column elements also 0 and we'll fill remaining elements. This is the pretty much problem. Now we need to check for possible solutions. So yeah, first we'll just check like which is the possible solution. So I am taking the example 2 here for easy understanding purpose, like what are the approaches we need to avoid, why we need to avoid. So for all those possible things, I am just taking the example 2. Here I am just quickly filling the matrix values. So for one approach is like we'll do traverse one by one element and let's find out which is the 0th element and what indexes it is having, and we'll set that entire row and entire column to 0 and then traverse to next element and we'll check like that. It's a pretty much like traversal and check and set that row and column to 0. So first we are at 0, 0. So in the 0, 0 we encounter the 0th element. So we'll make this whole row to 0. So this is also 0 and this column to 0 and this value to 0. So now we set the 0th column and 0th row to 0. Fine. Now we traverse means like our loop will traverse, right? Now we are at 0, 1. So in the 0, 1 we have to check what is the 0, 1 element. Already we changed 1 to 0, right? As per our previous value. So now this is as it is 0. We need to set zeroth row to zeros, already it is set. Now first column, as it is a first column, we need to set this 4 to 0 and this 3 to 0. Now we traverse one more, like 0 comma 2. Again the value got changed to 0, right? We need to check it. Oh, okay, it is 0 and the indices are 0 comma 2. Already 0th row is 0. Now let's set the second column elements also 0. This is 0 and this is also 0. We'll traverse. This is the final element in the first, sorry, 0th row. So here 0 comma 3. So in 0 comma 3, already like our 0th row set to 0. Now third column elements also let's try to set to 0. So this is 0, this is 0. Now if you see, like our entire matrix is now filled with zeros only. Why? First we encountered 0th element at 0 comma 0 index. Based on that we have set the 0th column and 0th row elements to 0. After that what we have done, we are checking, instead of checking original element in the matrix, we are checking with the changed value. After setting 0th row to 0 means here in entire 0th row we are comparing, we are checking the uh, element as 0. That's why our entire matrix got zeros only. So this approach is not at all suggestible, as we are not comparing with the original elements. Instead of, we are checking with the changed values. So this approach is not suggestible. Let's try. This is the first approach. Let's say first approach is not suggestible. Let's try the second approach. So I will just quickly take in the matrix values. So in the second approach, what we can do is, like, instead of changing and comparing with the changed value, let's take one new matrix. Let's say we can say like maybe copy or whatever it is, like we'll take one new matrix and in the new matrix we'll change. But comparison with the original matrix values only. So don't get confused. I will explain clearly here. So we have 0th value at 0 comma 0 index and 0 comma 3 index. So what we can do is, like, we have encountered 0 at 0 comma 0 index, right? So in the new matrix we'll fill 0th row all elements to 0 and 0th column all elements to 0. Now we'll traverse. Now we are at 0 comma 1. In the 0 comma 1 our value is 1, and so we don't touch anything. And in the 0 comma 2 the value is 2, so don't touch. Now in the 0 comma 3 position the value is 0. Now we need to set 0th row elements to 0 and third column elements to 0. So now anyhow, like 0th row element here is 0, third column element we are making 0. Now we traverse like 1 comma 0, which is 3, so don't touch. 1 comma 1 4, 1 comma 2 5, 1 comma 3 2, and in the second row also we don't have any zeros. So we have clearly, like, noted down, like, all zeros. Now these 4 elements are remaining elements, so we'll fill from the original one. With this one we will get the correct output. This is one of the possible solution, and we can take, like, this is with this one, like, we can run all our test cases, everything works fine. But here one problem is, like, if we consider space complexity, as we are taking one entire array of duplication. So let's say my matrix size is m by n. Sorry, I have to say, like, we are taking one matrix, entire matrix of duplication, right? So let's say, like, my matrix is of m by n size. I am taking one more m by n. So this is a little bit of space complexity. And one more thing, in the question, like, clearly mentioned that we need to take we need to do operations in the matrix only. So we can't take one new matrix. So this is the one disadvantage of this solution. So now we'll go with the third approach. So in the third approach, what can we do is, so we have 0 at 0, comma 0 and 0, comma 3. Instead of going with the one, like wherever the values we are having, instead of um, instantly modifying the row and comparing with the changed values or taking entire new matrix, instead of all those things, we'll take one D array. Compared to like in the previous approach, we have taken one complete 2D array matrix. Now we are taking like one 1D array. We can call row. So we'll take like a number of rows. We are having 3, right? So we'll take like 3 index row size, and I am taking one more 1D array call. So here I am just taking, we are having 4 columns, right? 4 indexes. So now what can we do, right? We'll note it down. Like wherever 0th index comes, we'll note it down those indexes and mark those as zeros. Initially, these two arrays are zeros only. So we have 0th index at 0, comma 0 position. So in the row, the 0th index will set to 1. Same way, like 0, comma 0 means column also we need to set to this also 1. And one more 0 we are having at 0, comma 3. Already we have set our row to 0th index of in row array, it's already 1, right? So, okay. And in the column array, we need to set the third index. So, third index is 1. So now here clearly we are noting it down. So after noting it down, blindly we can modify like our original matrix only without touching any other variables. Like let's say I'm traversing in my row array. So in my row array, 0th index is 1. 0th index is 1 means I need to set my 0th row to 0. So I will do here 0. Anyhow, these two values are 0. So ignore. And my first index and second index are zeros only. So don't touch those rows. Now I am traversing into my column array. In the column array, my 0th index is 1. So means my 0th column I have to modify to 0. So this is 0. This is also 0. And my first and second are zeros, so don't touch. And third column is again 1. So we'll do set to 0. So if you observe, we are having only 4, 5, 1, 3, remaining are zeros. So compared to this approach is very much flexible approach, as we are modifying the values in the original array, and we are taking like just 2 1D arrays with the row and column sizes. So this approach is a acceptable approach. So now quickly do the coding for this one. As I have mentioned, like we'll take one, I am taking like one variable here into m equals to, because for traversing, we need to find the row size, and we have to know the column size as well. And as we discussed, we need to take one extra 1D array, like row 1D array. Row 1D array we need to take with the number of rows we are having, and column 1D array we have to take like how many number of columns we are having. So this much of pretty declaration part. Now we'll start traversing. For traversing, first we need to go with the number of rows, and inside we need to like normal 2D array traversing, this one. For So this is the basic 2D array traversing. So here our main thing is like whenever matrix of I, J equal to 0, what we have to do, let me like remove this bracket. So whenever we got the matrix of I equals to 0, what we have to do, we need to mark the our mark in our 1D arrays. So I am just marking in my 1D array row because I represents row and J represents column, right? So just taking like my column of J also 1. So now we have marked. So by the end of like these two loops got complete, we are we have marked the which rows or which columns we need to set to 0. We marked in our 1D arrays. Now we'll do like we'll go with one more traversing, because in this traversal we'll set our rows, entire rows and entire columns which we are marked, right? Those we need to set 0 in this traversal. Uh, Here I need to declare my int. So here what we have to do is like whenever we have like our row of I or call of j, row of I like wherever we got the ones in any of the arrays, we need to set our matrix of ij to 0. Sorry, typo mistake. Matrix of ij to 0. Loop. We have completed the two loops. Yes, this is the pretty much. Means in the first 2D traversal, we are marking the 0th element of corresponding indexes in the row array and column array. And in the next arrays, based on those markings, we are making the our entire row and entire columns to 0. Let's quickly run this one. We got here something like problem row of I, call of j. Sorry, here I am in the two places I am checking the n only. In the first iteration, I need to check the rows. So now we'll compile. So now like our solution got accepted. We'll submit. Yeah. So this is pretty much of set matrix zeros problem. So hope you have understand very clearly. If you like the explanation and coding part, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching our videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in next videos.